no dey do competition with anybody. If I offend you, forgive me. Tó bá ti sanwó fún Ṣẹ́gun Nàbí o, ẹ fẹ́ jókù. Alákọ̀bí Ṣẹ́gun Nàbí. Alákọ̀bí Sábà Mẹ́la. Anybody? Any bobo. Anybody? Mo ló ń folú, ó gbà mí bó ṣe rí mi láti kíníṣí. Délé mo ló ń folú, ẹ jẹ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀. Délé o.
All right. Thank you very much, my people. I appreciate every one of you right there. Yes, we're back again. Continue to press on the like button, help us to share. So let me go back to give us a mandate. Please talk to me. Let's everybody manage our time. Is it talk and go to bed? That's what we call this session. So, but give us a mandate. Talk to us. I'm still here. Thank you very much, sir. Once again.
Thank you very much again for the time. Truly appreciate it. Thank you for your dedication and then your good works to the nation. We can not but thank you for all of these good works. Thank you so much. To the people on the panel, greetings to everyone. Quite some days. I think with what is going on now, it should be clear and evidence to Nigerians that what these people are about to do is just like what Yoruba would call they are using the tail of the python to scratch their nose. Using the tail of the python to scratch their nose, because this guy is about to unleash another level of terror on Nigerians particularly, and then the African sub-region, because the West have, particularly America, the country where by the grace of God we reside, is have a lot of things upon him. And that's nice. It shouldn't be surprising to Nigerians that FBI told you guys that they cannot release Tinubu case file until maybe 2026 because they have an agenda, they have an intention. And so don't even bring Peter Obi into such kind of conversation, because, I mean, you cannot use such an intelligent man against his own people. It's not done. It's not done. Now, you can see Dangote parading himself with Bill Gates. Bill Gates cannot be used against Americans because, I mean, Americans are going to stand up against him. But they can use Dangote with influence of Bill Gates on Dangote against Nigerians. And so it's not surprising that you see Dangote hire over 11,000 Indians, and then Nigerian youths are all over the places just walking around, no job and all that. This is the evil of the West. Now, I heard the panelists saying that our president, Tinubu is not your president. Please, I beg you guys, please. He may be in Aso Rock.
Who said he's our president? Who said
I had several panelists saying our president. See what our
president.
God
forbid, though.
Tinubu is not your president. If you see him as your president, all well and good for you. But Tinubu is not. He's not the president of Nigeria. Tinubu is just there because he got there through Mahmoud Yakub after rigging the election. Tinubu is not the president. He's suffering illegitimacy. It's clear to the world. It's clear even among the Ecowas region that the guy is suffering from illegitimacy. He has a disease on him, and that disease is called illegitimacy. So please, if you're on this panel, you are entitled to your opinion, but please, you can call him your own president, but not the president of Nigeria that I know, because the president of Nigeria is no other person than Peter Gregory Obi. And so we're only waiting for judiciary to do what to do, declare Peter Obi as the president, and then things begin to get better. But now going to Niger Republic, you see, one thing is he wants to show power where there is no power. I only pray and wish that Niger Republic will happen to Nigeria like Ai happened to Israel in the Bible. And I'm not missing word to say this because you ordinarily did a coup in your own country by rigging the election. And so you want to go and fight in a country where there is coup. So how is the issue in Niger different from the issue in Nigeria? How is it different? It's nowhere different from each other. The only thing is just because this other guy is a military person. But Tinubu is a civilian that carried out a coup d'etat on May 29 on Nigerians. He did it. And so he's battling his own cancer, his own disease, like Wike told them that APC already is infected with cancer. And that's the cancer that Tinubu is fighting with. That is fighting tooth and nail to cure, but he can never be cured from it because it's not the will of the people through Mahmoud Yakub. And so you're going to fight against Niger, switching up their light and all that. Amen. I will not tell you not to go to Niger. The only thing is, if you are going to go to Niger, go with the armies that are supported APC. Go with them.
Give us our
leave them
mandate.
Go ahead, man.
Sorry for interjecting. I just couldn't resist to talk about this. You see, Reportera broke a news a day ago, and they were quoting let me read this quote. This is by Major General Tchiani. We often located terrorists, but when we asked to rush to buy them, President Bazoum told us to ask permission from the French forces first. But our soldiers were falling on the front, and France did nothing. Major General Tchiani. This is just an excerpt. For the full report is on reportera.ng.
That is what is happening to Nigerian soldiers too now.
Exactly.
So now, and those soldiers are the one that will now go again. They will go and face Niger. When they themselves, they are weapons of war. They only have, but things are not sophisticated. But who are you even? Who is sending you that? Who is sending you that message? Who is sending you that? Who is sending you as an errand boy to go to Niger? Is it the man that is a thief? The man that lied under oath? The man that is still suffering from, that is still battling illegitimacy? Is sending. The armies should not even have. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but they just have to probably obey because, regardless, Mahmoud Yakub gave them, and they also, because they don't know what they are standing for, they're gonna do everything because some few days ago he was correcting their chief of nonsense staff, gave them cap and then gave them their walking stick or their holding stick, whatever they call it. These guys, before Niger happened, it should have happened first in Nigeria. Before Niger happened, it should have happened first in Nigeria because the guy there is not the right person. Nigerians didn't vote for him. Nigerians don't like him. Nigerians didn't elect him. Nigerians did not elect him. And so to the pastors and the people saying that maybe it's the will of God. This is not the will of God. Ever since he's been there, has anything gotten better? Has it gotten better so far? People are being pied every day. No food. Some children are going to be tilted into malnutrition. Maybe they're going to be pied by malnutrition in some few days. School, people cannot go to school. In some 3 months now, it will be done on parents that they cannot even pay their children's school fee. So is that the will of God for Nigerians? And you have to say, maybe this is not the will of God. This one, nada, no, irony. This is not the will of God. This is the will of the
My
wicked.
brother, can I add something to your? Sorry for interjecting you.
Go ahead, sir.
That is okay. That is why I said we don't know the mindset of the military. If they go into that stuff that they are going to now, if they are coming back, do we know what is happening? That's the question.
Well, like you said, we don't know their mindset, but also we can also sometimes maybe see their actions. But even before this guy, say is in a society, you would have even the Senate approve what he's doing, but the Senate cannot even approve it because the Senate are his puppets. Akpabiole, who again? All of them in the Senate, they are all rogues. They are answering to him, so they cannot even say, oh, they didn't send you what you are going to do, Mr. Froster, Mr. Drug Baron. Nobody send you what you are going to do, because already you are battling illegitimacy. So leave Niger, face Nigeria, go and solve your illegitimacy problem first before before we know where we can send you to. But what they cannot say anything because they themselves, they are not clean. They are all thieves. They are all thieves. What can you say about Wike? After rigging election in Rivers State, they presented him as a minister. Wicked men all over the places. Wickedness all over the places. Wickedness. I had earlier in the morning, I was able to watch a few clips that you showed Mr. Elvis of that woman saying that she enjoyed free education. She was voted on the platform of Labour Party, and you were saying, who asked her all of this question? Who asked her that question? Is that the question they're asking you? That's not the question at that moment. What they are saying is, what are you guys going to do for the workers? So my people, Tinubu is not the president of Nigeria. He is the one sending himself, and the West are the ones sending him. The only thing is, like the engineer said, he said before you send anybody to go and buy themselves in Niger, why not send Sheyi? At least you have another 61 or 65 years old girl. That's your daughter. You can send her. Bring the one in America. Put them together. Send them to Niger. Give them gun. You have Asari Dokubo. Go and pull Asari Dokubo. Asari has militants. Send Asari Sheyi. Send Bajabi Amila. Send Fani Kayode. Send Festus Koyamo. Send even Remy. Tell her, all of you lined up. I'll give you the code iron. Give you food. Wear your uniform. Go and face Niger. Don't send the innocent military guys.
What's our
Don't.
mandate?
Yes, ma'am.
All the senators, they should assign, they should bring back their families
Like
and
Akpabiole,
send them. All of them. All of them.
Oshiomole, all of those, all of them. Give them uniform, give them cap, give them code iron, put them inside container, send them to Niger. Leave our army alone. The army, they still have a good job to do for my president once he get to power. Please, this guy is not he's not our president. I don't know him. I don't know him. I don't want to know him. I don't care to know him. Let judiciary just do the right thing and give us our president. Thank you very much, Mr. Elvis.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Give us a mandate. Please, good evening, yes, it's still evening here anyway, or night. Good night, everybody, wherever you may be. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is. All protocol duly observed. Sorry for reporting late to duty, so to speak. Actually, there's something I heard today. It's like this Nigeria self. It's like this country is dissolving like a cube of sugar. You see, they said the other day is from Australia. The Falcons played goalless with the Irish team that made them to qualify. They said FIFA officials came into their dressing room to address them, telling them that for the first time in the history of FIFA, when I say history of FIFA, since FIFA was formed, was it not 1930? Yes, they started 1930. Over close to 100 years now. Say for the first time in the history of FIFA, normally every participating team, whether the male football competition or female or anything organized by any football competition organized by FIFA, the participants are given money for qualifying or for participating. But they give the money to the football association or the football federation of the participating country. In this case, like we say, NFF, Nigerian Football Federation, or CBF, Brazilian Football Confederation. That is the way it's done. But FIFA said they are going to break that more than close to 100-year rule. That they will give the money for Nigerian Falcons direct into the player's bank account. And you know why. So that is to tell you. And it's happening under Agbado's regime, according illegal
That's
regime.
correct. That's correct, Mr. Sian. That's
So
correct.
I felt, in fact, for those, this is I mean, they waited because Nigeria played the first match 0 goal, think 1-1 or goalless with Canada.
Dr. CM,
Yes, please.
that's why we cannot address such a character
No,
as
no,
a
no,
president of
no,
a nation.
no. I know I'm saying that, but there's no somebody is just okay. Well, the placeholder. So the thing is illegal placeholder anyway because he wasn't legally appointed to hold the place for Obi. Now the thing is, you see, when Nigeria played goalless, think with Canada, I think was it goalless? Yes, the first match. That is 1 point. Then the second match they beat Australia 3-2, I suppose. Yes, 3 points, making 4 points now. So the last match, they decide they need to win or draw to qualify, and they did. So when they played goalless with Irish Republic, so FIFA is now sure that Nigeria has qualified for the knockout stage, and therefore the money coming, all those things. He went to the players to tell them that in the past, what the FIFA rule, imagine breaking FIFA rule. Eh? And I'm not sure they took the decision in Zurich because they didn't know whether Nigeria would. So in fact, it's like they took the decision impromptu at Australia where they are participating because this thing should be in FIFA's.
I'm sorry.
FIFA.
Sorry, if I may just come in. It was actually that lady, the black lady from Senegal, that told FIFA that this is what they have to do because of the condition of Nigeria. It was that secretary, one of the
Anyway,
secretary from Africa, that pushed for that position
anyway,
because she came to see the team in the dressing room and she assured them in the dressing room that they are going to get their money directly in their
yeah,
account, that she's going
no,
to push for
no,
that in their meeting.
it's okay. Whoever says it, the fact that FIFA adopted it is what I'm after.
Says it all.
Because FIFA could have said, okay, we meet maybe when we get back to Zurich, maybe from the next competition or something. But they instantly agreed on it immediately. So that is to tell you, some of us do not know the enormity, the rot going in. They know the character that is usurping power in Aso Rock. So a lot of negatives are coming out now. So that was a shocker to me. And it will go around that FIFA had to break their rule. They started staging World Cup 1930 in Uruguay, 1930. Since then till now, they've never done it, whether under 17 or all the competition FIFA is organizing, never. But they will start it with Nigeria now, that they will give the players their money. Do you know that if FIFA has done this, let me just take a little bit of time. If FIFA has done this, the likes of Olise, the likes of Amokachi, Timesen, in those days, they don't say if you don't give us our money, they are owing us.
Their life will not be like this now.
Thank you. Ndoko Ogbade was so annoyed that
Okay. Mr. CM.
one moment,
Mr. CM.
the team FIFA gave them when they won under 17, they've not 1985. Ogbade is still bitter till today. When you feel so, the team pains them. Maybe if FIFA has been doing this stuff for Nigeria, those boys, a lot of people, to be honest with you, if FIFA has been doing this in Nigeria, the likes of there's one guy they call Gabriel Agbolaho. When he was playing for Aston Villa, it was on fire. Maybe over 10, 11 years ago, he refused to play for Nigeria. There's one they call Ike Chieze, played for Scotland. So many of them that have turned Nigeria down. Because they know that when they play all these things, the money that comes from FIFA, they are professional football, they know what comes, so it doesn't get to them. If FIFA had done this 20 or 30 years ago, the likes of Olise, they would have had a vet. Olise left now. Olise was a time didn't go to 2002 World Cup. He was the captain as at 2020 2000 when we lost to Cameroon at the National Stadium. He was the captain then, though he was sick, but he had to come in and help them overcome Senegal through Aga Howard, who scored the goal. They called him Aga Wonder. Then when they get to final, they lost on penalty shootout. So after that, Olise was complaining that as a captain, the players coming to him when they say, look, why are they treating us like this? Look at other African countries. So when Olisa complained, they now said, okay, you are opening eye. All those, all that, they said, okay, I want to remove you as captain so that you won't give us problems. Olise even said, let to hell with their captain, and then left. They appointed Okocha. Okocha just wanted to make amends, captain Nigeria to 2002 World Cup in Korea, Japan. So if they had done this then, that we have told you where Nigeria would have. I mean, our play most of our foreign-based players, maybe having a dual citizenship, would have opted to play for Nigeria because the fan base is there. Nigerians will clap for them. Nigerians love good football. Then the money from FIFA will get direct to them. So they don't have any they wouldn't have any stomach to come and be taking nonsense from some of these half-baked people who are full of tribalism, nepotism in the NFA. So all those things. Well, that thank God that is a good piece of information. But let me quickly say something about this Niger something. This is my take. Number one, Nigeria has no moral right, first, to send troops to Niger Republic. The issue there is not, it does not affect us directly. Yes, we are neighbors. We have the longest land border is with Niger. I agree. The geography is there. But sending troops, because of the fact that Niger, they identified that their uranium is controlled by France, and France, through France and the America. And uranium is even more expensive than crude oil or something. Yet they are the poorest country almost in Africa or West Africa. Imagine depending on Nigeria for petroleum, for electricity. So now they've decided to take their own future into their own hands. Remember what Frank Fanon said, that every generation will be confronted with the challenges of their era. So these people feel that what their foreparents put up with, they can't put up with it. It's either they address it or you allow it to fester. So they are not prepared for that. Now they've changed the government because of how corrupt the government is. By the way, people are losing sight of the fact that, look at the Minister for Finance crying. Why are you crying? If you didn't steal any money, you should have been bold to say, look, nothing. But if a country could do that type of thing, there is something we have to learn from Niger. Can you imagine Nigeria? Can you imagine Nigeria summoning our minister, say, go and return this money, or else within 48 hours or 1 week, you face firing squad? Nigeria would have automatically either it implodes or we self-regulate ourselves. So going to Niger is a no-no for me. Now, secondly, who is even the Ecowas man who is speaking? Already, I don't know the video, whether the chap, he spoke English, but I don't know whether he's a Niger, he's on civilian dress. He was giving an example like military coup d'etat. He said, when the constitution of a country empowers you for 5 years, single term, maximum of 2 terms, which is 10 years. At the end of that 10 years or towards the end, you want to change the constitution so that you can stay longer, like Alpha Conde of Guinea, who is a Tinubu's one Friday, what he wanted to do. The guy said that is cool against the people because you know before you contested that you have maximum 10 years of 2 terms. They get maximum 10 years, which will be 2 terms if you are so good. So you know it before you even get in. So why then are you changing it towards the end? Maybe the person you defeated did not change it. So do you think the person shouldn't have changed it? So such a country, in fact, I'm even saying of the opinion that every country has to address her own domestic issue the way they deem fit. I do not see why Nigeria is sending troops to this thing. And again, the guy also said that they don't respect Tinubu because Tinubu is not a legitimate president, which we all know. So it's being discussed everywhere. So going to Niger is out of the question. By the way, sending the young men and women of any country, I'm speaking generally now, sending the young men and women of any country to go and stay, sending them to harm's way, because going to war, there must be casualty, even if you have to win. Even if you feel you can overpower your enemy, but there must be casualty because you have to be careful, otherwise they can lay ambush to you. And moreover, they are not coming into your country to fight you. You are going into their own. So you may not know the area very well. You are just invading. So they may lay ambush and know what they're going to do. So sending people to go and do such things, the premium must be very high. And by that I mean the fact that it should be discussed at the parliament. So has the Nigerian parliament debated the pros and cons of sending troops? Because when I mean debated, this is not what a committee does. The 360 people at the House of Reps, each and every one of them must speak. Normally in advanced country, what they do is the day they are going to speak, it will be free for, that is the TV, it will be aired live. Every member must be present. You must identify yourself and then speak, then they vote or they debate it after they vote. So 109 senators must speak, everybody must say something. It's based on what the parliament resolved that they will now authorize the commander-in-chief to put our this thing in arm's way. And in trying to debate it, all the field generals must be present at the parliament to give their own briefing, how prepared, even if we are, because the debate is, are we going to send? If we are not going to send, no problem, you might not really take inventory of of your whatever your arsenals. But if you are going, all the field generals, wherever they are, they should come and brief the parliament firsthand, because every member, every senator will ask a question. How prepared are we? What is the latest? Everything. Has Nigeria done that? No. So this is pure illegal. It's a contravention of international law. I do not think that ECOWAS is even willing. We should be dragged into it. By the way, which ECOWAS are we talking about? Burkina Faso is threatening that if ECOWAS mess, they will pull out of ECOWAS. In which case, ECOWAS, they are no longer part of ECOWAS. Therefore, you are just trying to invade their country. You can't say they are no longer, if they pull out of ECOWAS, they are no longer signatory to whatever ECOWAS convention you want to invoke. So Burkina Faso is threatening to withdraw. The same thing with Mali, and then Niger, they are going to fight. I know country like Guinea may join them, and then what other country I may suggest? Maybe Chad. So if you look at the belt, if you look at African map now, it's like the military belt. You see it like a belt above Nigeria, Chad. Chad has a boundary with Sudan. So Sudan is military. Chad has a boundary with Niger. Niger has a boundary with Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso has a boundary with Mali. So it's like a belt. It's now going the military belt. And these are the resources. The real mineral resources are lying on this belt. So there's a more to go for it. I'm thinking that Nigeria is like disintegrating. I do not want Nigeria to go into Niger for even to shoot a gun or to even arm anybody. There's no need. We have our own to sort out. We don't need that. Moreover, where is the money? Is it this money they are going to borrow? Later they will tell you they are doing this. In fact, it's a critical time now. I've been paying attention to every nitty-gritty that comes out of Nigeria and then the world. I'm trying to see how it's going to pan out. When the deadline France expires, I wonder what they are going to do. But clearly, this is just the French people is the aggressor, the French government. They are clearly the aggressor in my view, because Niger is an independent country, a sovereign nation. You can't invade them that way. And moreover, they are complaining of why should France be controlling the resources of all their former colonies. That is uncalled for. So let me yield here to listen to other people.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Let me, Mr. CM.
Yes.
All right.
I want to.
No, hold on, sir. Hold on. We have somebody on the panel that have not said anything. Peace off. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Please, on this segment, always interject. If not, if you forget you, they're not gonna know say you there. You know, peace off. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, wonderful, sir. I can see you're struggling with your network anyway. Yes, speak to us. After you, then any other person can speak. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, panelists and everybody. I've been listening. Besides, I'm in your
We
Sorry,
can't
sorry
hear.
about
We can't hear you. Your network is bad, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Here you are good. Please concentrate. Thank you.
Okay, I think beside I'm in your geographical location right now. That's why the network is, kind of being
Oh,
problem.
okay.
Yeah.
Like say now, look who you do, or look who.
So, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Uh, you see, I'll just touch on just to what's currently happening, just to the Niger and Nigeria and
Mm.
people. You see, if you listen to whenever I talk on this show, say, I always make reference to uh, you know, global trend that is currently going on from the back end that most people are not paying attention to. If you can remember, if you go check the video where I always talk about global trend, global trend, global trend. And I said the current situation in Ukraine, I said, it's not really just about Ukraine, but it's going to go round. It's going to go round. It's a planned thing. It didn't just happen. It's a planned thing. You see, I was not supposed to be on ground, but I already got the kind of stuff that okay, something like this was. I never knew they were going to take over. The military were going to, kind of strike in Niger. I knew they would strike, but I never knew it was going to be that soon because it's not only Niger; it's going to other African countries too because it's a global stuff. And right now, I was shocked when the guy who stole a mandate who decided to go occupy Aso Rock. I was shocked when he said he's going to send troops to the jail. You know, is just he's just talking story. He doesn't. I don't think he knew exactly what he's talking about. I don't think he even knew what's happening. But I do not think they don't know. They knew exactly what's happening, and then maybe they've decided to give up Nigeria for to use Nigeria as a scapegoat to other countries to use as an experiment. But what I can say is that from the southern Nigeria, which is one of their major concentrate, these people, because remember, European countries currently do not have much petroleum product, and the winter is coming uh, in a few months, and then they will need more gas and more other stuff to survive because Russia has completely cut off almost 80% of their gas supply to European countries, and they'll definitely need Nigeria, Cameroon, for more, sustenance. And some of these things is not by accident. It's planned, and the Western world are pushing Nigeria to go into war, so that by the time Nigeria went into war, and then they will come in other states to say, okay, we want to offer help to Nigeria. Okay, now because UK is currently taking 20% of Nigeria petroleum products, and then and they need more. So if they come in to say, we want to offer you a help, okay, let's share it 50-50 because if we don't help you now, and then these other countries, they're going to launch an attack on you and we need money to do this, do that. So Nigeria will give in. So I think even our military, if you're listening now, you need to understand exactly what's happening because it's also an opportunity for you if the government tries to push you to go to Nigeria to go do stuff, it means that they themselves, they are breaking the law because you can't break the constitution by stealing the mandates, by imposing yourself on Nigeria and expect to stay in power. That will not fly. It's just a shame that that even happened in the first instance, that without 25%, that's a constitutional requirement. And he was sworn into office. Whoever did that is supposed to be in jail right now because you already broke the constitution while the constitution is still alive. And then he's giving order to every of his order. It's not supposed to be valid. Nobody's supposed to take him for anything. Our brother, this is an opportunity for you to display your power. What will happen. I'm not saying nothing is going to happen. I'm telling you, I've been saying all this thing for a long time. I said, what will happen, will see happen. But the good thing is that we from the southern Nigeria, from the south side, because they really concentrate and Nigeria is being dragged to go into a war. Do we think, if you connect that dot, do we think it's just an accident? Is what's happening is being done by accident? No. It's well planned. And the West, just like one of our panelists said earlier, that the West will do anything because they find out that Russia is penetrating into Africa. Think about it. The West wouldn't want Russia to really penetrate into Africa. So if Russia is penetrating into Africa, the West want to cause what's currently happening in Ukraine. They want it to happen in Africa. Who is the NG bloc of Africa? It's Nigeria. Even as poor we think we are, do you know how many African countries Nigeria is powering? Do you know how many African countries Nigeria is carrying along? As poor as we think we are, so Nigeria is the NG bloc of Africa. So if they can break into, because Nigerian market is very big, we need to understand that it's a very big market for the world, for the whole world. So if Russia is able to penetrate into Africa, then some European countries, they're going to suffer. Let's look at Dangote's refinery, because I'm just going to be touchy and leaving so that we don't give us some information. Those listening can hear and understand, and they can connect the dot and know exactly, okay, this is what's happening. This is how we should approach issue. And if anything happens today, believe me, Nigeria will divide into two. It will be just the southern Nigeria and the northern Nigeria, because we're just going to make sure that the southern Nigeria will not be a part of this nonsense, and then let them go. If they want to go into war, that's fine. And that's why I'm on ground. We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let our people being taken for granted, being destroyed. This, as I look, but this is an opportunity, as LSA, for you to take your men, go fight the war in Niger. If you want to fight, you think you have power. So go there right now and demonstrate your power. Believe me, I don't think you're going to have that capacity to even do that. And if it happens, Nigerians are going to see you as an enemy. So no matter how powerful you think you are, Nigerians, if they come for you, believe me, you will find out that your power is nothing. If you ask Gaddafi when their people rose up against him, he found out that it was not as easy as he thought would be, even though what the people did was wrong for taking him out, because he was a good guy. But I wouldn't want to say that much because most of my friends are listening to that. You know what I'm saying, guys? I really do appreciate you guys, and we'll see touch on, because I'm a grandson. I'm always going to be with you guys. Thank you very much.
Well, actually, this issue of I have the quite a sense of foreboding that it won't pan out well for Nigeria. Already, if countries like Burkina Faso, Mali are in support of Niger Republic to fight on their behalf, and I know all this because this is purely that the French West African countries are feeling the impact. They've now woken up to know that France has been feeding on them for ages. So they want this, like they're fighting for their independence from France. So this is clearly a war that Nigeria has nothing to. We don't have anything at stake. I do not see anything. I'm yet to be convinced on what it will better for us and on the gain, or what Nigeria will lose by not taking part or by not showing allegiance to whether it's Ecowas or whatever. I do not see. What I can only see is the French West African countries they've woken up. They are feeling cheated. Imagine Mali banished, no more French as a official language. They use any of their languages. You keep speaking it. French embassy closed and then sent away and everything. Therefore, the battle line has been drawn between Mali and France. Why? Because there are a lot of minerals in Mali. Remember, those that read with African history will remember a man called Mansa Musa, one of the richest men in the world during his time.
He was, he was, even up till today's calculations, he still is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when he comes to your country, just passing by, inflation will come. Just from the money they would dash your people, there will be no goods anymore.
Mansa Musa is from Mali. If you read West African history, so Mansa Musa, being the richest then, when he went to Mecca So as a Muslim, it was just like invasion. Not really invasion in the sense of fighting a war, but they invaded the Saudi or Mecca to show, just like a show of wealth. So all those things, all those gold and such wealth now didn't leave Mali. This is not a case of like now you can steal your money, go and hide in Argentina. So everything was there. And wealth in those days was not it's not really paper money. It's mainly gold and diamond. So these are minerals, solid, so you can keep them. In other words, they are still in Mali. So when French colonized them, they must have carted the thing away and then went to the source and keep mining them. So Mali, now where is Mali in the world of today? Nowhere. So they've woken up. It is what happened in Mali that Burkina, I mean, before then, that a Niger Republic with uranium and other minerals, and yet look at where they have the poverty rate. So that is the pain. Burkina Faso in between Mali, Burkina Faso is situated between Mali, I think, Mali and Niger. They already showing solidarity towards Niger. I believe, what is the country called? Guinea will also join them. Maybe other Chad should be already. Sudan is no longer a friend of the West. I don't know, but in their own case, it's British. So a lot will pan out. And deceiving, I support them, whatever it is. Let them get their independence and then assert their right to their resources. After all, they're a sovereign nation, isn't it? Are they not?
So you think about it. Who is France to be giving another sovereign nation an ultimatum?
Can I come in here?
What kind of an insult is that?
Can I come in another dimension now?
Okay.
I want to let us trace the history and how the history of briefly, just once for about 1 minute, I'll go on that history. You see, the French colony has been a very brutal colony, coming from all the way from the Nile down to the West African zone where they colonized. And if you see the countries they've colonized in Africa, they've set their currency around those countries and they sign a bilateral relationship that will still enslave them. And knowingly, I don't know how it happened, those Francophone countries signed it. And what they have now, their currency is being controlled by French Central Bank. Now, let's move away from there. I just want to have a brief of that, how brutal they are. Then, if we have to look at the Russian, coming in of the Russian, what our brother said there is a very vital point. The season coming to the West now, during the winter time and the summertime, they need more of energy. Even in the winter time, they need more of the energy. Now, how would they get the energy source? Russia has cut it short. And between now and the third quarter of this year, they are going to finally cut it down drastically and it will be shut down. Where are they going to get it? They are going to create another brutal formation that will lead to disaster somewhere because they cannot provide the finances anymore. Because most of European countries, they are undergoing some kind of financial constraint or financial insufficiency in their economy. Now, Africa is a feed point. That is why I say Africa is the jewel of the world. Africa has the resources and they've been feeding from Africa for decades, thousands, hundreds of years. Now, Africa have the right, I still stand my ground. Africa have the right to take back their own destiny, and they are doing it through the military formation. And mind you, the military in Africa, their mindset has changed because now they discover that they have to really Africanize everything in Africa. Now, what are they doing? They are taking the power one after the other so that they can unite strongly and protect their land. And one thing that I used to argue, if Africa take control, they have the right to decide on who among the devil they would trade with, that will be profitable to them, that will still make them own their destiny and own their resources. And what are we talking about? That is where the Russians come in. And you know, Russia, they will support any group that will, sign that relationship with them. They can have trade because they need trade now. They need countries now that will trade with them, that will, have value to their own ruby, so that they can start to make their ruby affordable in Africa. They want to start with Africa now, because Africa is like a virgin land to Russia. But despite Russia has been in Africa. So now, Africa taking hold of their own kind of democracy have the right to choose among the devil. And who among the devil do you prefer Africa to choose and trade with? That is my question now. Who among the devil? Because Russia has not colonized Africa, neither do they even have any interest to colonize Africa. But they want to trade with Africa in terms of their resources, their mineral resources. In terms, Africa can design a good trade in agriculture, in energy, with what it entails today, because everybody is enlightened. You cannot just come into my place and start taking my resources and go away. You have to, if you want to till it, we have to sign an agreement. Is it 20, 80, or whatever? As long as I'm in charge of my resources, I can sign a deal with anybody that will help in transfer of technological, approach, how to drill, on how to take the resources and make it available. Then we'll sign a deal of having industries in Africa. And that is what the colonial master refused to do. But they prefer going to China to set up companies in China. So now Africa has the way to sign a deal after taking hold of their economy and their mineral resources. I believe all these things French is doing, the time for them to let loose has come. And Africa has grown enough, acquire knowledge, acquire wisdom to make sure that this grip on Africa should be let loose. They can't just come and start a war. If not, it will lead to a world war. That is it. But they can use Africans to fight each other. But Africans are wise. These military guys that are coming in, they are of this generation. They are wise. They know what is going on. That is why I say there's going to be a connective military tactical approach. And if Nigeria decides to be the black sheep, then these African countries will come together and fight Nigeria. That is my submission. That is my own dimension that I'm seeing, because I'm still critically analyzing and seeing what, as information comes from different African, these military guys, as it comes from them, we'll begin to analyze and forecast the way they're about to go about it. And I believe, in my own heart, I believe Nigeria might not take that risk in going to Niger to start a war.
I think so too, because it's ill-advised. It will be madness. In fact, that's why I'm even saying, that's why I started by saying, what is the parliament? Even at the state level, it must not just be federal. What is the parliament saying about that? Sending young men and women to putting them in harm's way. The premium must be high. Nigeria is not directly involved. We are not a threat. They are not a threat to us. They've never been. It's only that just because they want to flex their muscle against the French, Nigeria decide to just get themselves involved. In what way? It's like when we went to ECOWAS, and there's no. I don't.
But Augustine,
everybody, please hold on 1 minute. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your understanding. I want to call on people. Anybody that didn't answer me, I need to remove them because some people want to come in. If I call on you only once, you didn't answer, I'll know that you're not available so that someone else can come in. Bizenbrain, are you there with us, madam?
I am. Don't remove me.
Okay. Madam Patricia, are you there? Okay, Madam Patricia, don't sleep. Okay. At least we don't see one will remove. Augustine, are you there?
No be in time. You say You say, now you are for us whether you dead there. Now you are for us whether now you they speak on somebody else.
Oga Jonathan, are you there? Okay, Oga Jonathan is not there. Oga Jonathan don't sleep. Oga Jonathan never even talk since, so he means he don't sleep. Okay, I have to remove you, Oga Jonathan. Good. Now let me see. Egina Francis, are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oga Chris, are you there? Oga Chris, you are not there. Oga Chris don't
I did,
sleep.
yeah, oh, I did.
Black Pat, are you there?
I did, yeah,
can't
oh.
play.
Okay.
Sleep for this one.
Okay.
No way. Oh.
Peace Soft, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Give us a mandate. Are you there with us? Okay, give us a mandate. Bless you, don't sleep.
Oga Elvis, you didn't call it loud, so maybe he didn't hear you. Your voice went down.
Somebody else. Give us a mandate. Are you there? Oga Dr. Ken, off your camera, beg. You know wear shirt. Thank you, sir. Give us a mandate. I don't call you that 700 times. You don't never answer. Because a lot of people on the queue, they want to come in. Answer us if you are there. You see, okay. All right, for now, since we don't bring 3 people in, I guess, right? Takuma, Gingerbread is with us. Dr. Ken is with us. Okay, 2 people don't come in. All right, okay, let's take it from here. So, Gingerbread Man.
Mr. Elvis, God bless you. I've been trying to come into this panel since yesterday, but no way. All these guys
we don't clear road for you now.
We banned you for 2 days.
You understand? You guys are doing a very, very good job. But I say,
we don't clear everywhere for you.
Because I have a different perspective now that I'm looking at this thing that is happening. Can I go on?
Yeah, now your turn now.
Okay, great. Yes. So, Nigeria, God bless you. You guys are doing a very good job. The way I'm looking at what is happening right now is that Africa is about to be liberated. And the West, they are fighting. If you see, this is the way I'm looking at it. If you see what is happening in Niger and what has happened in Burkina Faso, as well as Mali, these are young military boys who have decided to change the dynamics from being ruled by puppets that are controlled by the Western world. So they have decided to take back their nation, and Niger have done the same. Very, very unfortunate that Tinubu, who is not the president-elect for Nigeria, Nigerians have been echoing it on this platform and other platforms, and across the West Africa, a lot of African countries have concurred that Tinubu is not the legitimate president. So what you see happening right now is Niger military have taken over the aim of affairs. It is allegedly said that France has been very exploitative together with America. And if you pay attention to the several videos Mr. Ninja Watch has played and you do your own research, you will find out that these African countries that are taking back their nation through military coups are ready to align with Russia as a support to take back their country and control their natural resources. If we go back in history and in time, you will realize that Russia did not colonize any African nation. And with what is going on in the current world today, Russia and NATO are in loggerheads. Russia and America do not agree. Therefore, anything that Russia will do to make sure that it continues to be at loggerhead with these other nations who are clearly beneficiaries of African resources while subjecting Africans to perpetual suffering. Russia is ready to do that, and that is what is happening in Niger. For Tinubu to try to flex his muscle, to say that he's going to send the Nigerian military to go and attack Niger, I beg to remind him that the Nigerians are not with him on that. And if Niger decide to strike back with collaborations with the military of Burkina Faso, Mali, and possibly Guinea, they are going to be on their own. But I want to believe, going from what happened during the 2023 election, 25th February, going with the massive support that the Labour Party received across the military barracks and the polling units surrounding, I believe that the military are waiting for the signal to do the needful. And that needful will be done depending on the position the judiciary decide to take. You see this government, it will be toppled. There is a video circulating right now on social media where retired General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida was narrating the reason why the military usually carry out a coup. And that is as a result of a flawed electoral process. When elections are rigged, serves as a catalyst for the military to take over. So, my fellow brothers and sisters, Nigerians, forget about this gimmick that this stooge in Aso Rock is playing right now. That is increasing the military salary, changing the chief of staff, or changing the military heads. It will not avert this thing. What is going to happen? Because if you want to talk about the people that are disciplined, the military are a disciplined body. And I believe the electoral process is not concluded. Giving democracy a chance, they are waiting for what the electoral tribunal is going to decide on this matter, because it is clear, like black and white. So we want to say, Nigerian Army, we are with you. We know that you are patriotic. You swore allegiance to the Constitution. You know that the person giving you an order to go and kill yourself so that your children, wife, and loved ones will become fatherless, widows, and lonely is not even legitimate by the Constitution. It is time you do the needful. Uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, even though that Constitution is contested. But for now, that is what we have. Therefore, we're not going to let a stooge. Okay, look at what is happening. All this while, United Kingdom has not openly come out to recognize Tinubu as the president-elect. But today, I don't know whether Nigeria Watch has plans of presenting it tomorrow. I saw it on the news, on a verified media, that the UK has recognized Tinubu. Ask yourself, why is this thing happening right now? It is because there is a drum that is playing. Even the UK is part of this cartel. The UK, France, and even America. They all want to hold Africa to ransom. And the liberation of Nigeria means the liberation of Africa at large. Why is it now, when we are expecting for the tribunal to pass a judgment, which we all know, regardless of what the tribunal would say, it is written in black and white? Why is it now, when Tinubu is threatening that Nigeria will attack its fellow sister country in Ecowas, why is it now UK is coming out to say they are recognizing the illegitimate government of Tinubu as legitimate? It goes to say that the West are all part of what is happening. And they are afraid of the presidency of a man that will uphold and put country first before their interest. And that is why they are playing these gimmicks. But judiciary, if you look at what is happening in Nigeria, the handwriting is written everywhere. Because when this trumpet of doom shall start playing, everybody will dance it. Because you people live in Nigeria. Your family are in Nigeria. Your constituencies are in Nigeria. Your properties are in Nigeria. So it is better for you to do the right thing. And let us wait for that anarchy, which the likes of Asari Dokubo is beating. Do the right thing and we'll handle the rest. Failure to do the right thing is anarchy. And you see these people that are gallivanting about that they are going to cost. When the chips are down, you will not see them anywhere. But by then, you will be consumed. So Africa is about to be liberated. I'm telling you this from a prison of inner view. But the West is fighting. And that is what you see what is happening around Africa. Nigeria will not be an exception if judiciary fails to do the right thing. The catalyst for military coup is when there is a blank, fraudulent electoral process. Thank you very much. I'm still here with you guys.
Can I just jump in at the back of what you said, Mr. Gingerbread Man? You see, I saw that IBB's write-up, and I thought maybe it was a proxy page, but it is his own page. And he wrote it about 21 hours ago, and he said, to stage a coup, there has to be a frustration in the society. In the military, we find coup easier when there is frustration in the society, most especially when elections are rigged and the government lacks legitimacy. Our judiciary does not endorse illegitimacy. Now, I find this very suspect because barely 2 months ago, on the 19th of June, he is barely saying Tinubu is the best man for the job.
Not really.
So where does he stand there? You see, these are our confused people that we put them there as leaders. They speak from both ends of their mouth. They know the truth. But like Oga Elvis say, why can they not do the truth? They know the truth. And from this statement that he has put out here, the junior rank and file are agitating. They are watching. Nigeria is doing them too. They are watching. Look at a doctor that just lost her life needlessly in Lagos General Hospital. Is it Idan or something? She fell in the lift was not working. The lift fell 10 floors down and she met her death. She didn't die immediately. It took an hour for them to open the lift. When they finally opened the lift, there was no blood. That was how she died.
Oh.
Can you imagine Nigeria? So all these
you're right. I read news today.
All these military people that are hanging around, the lower rank and file, this is what is going to happen to them too. They better be bold and brave, because that thing that is in their hand, that weapon of authority that makes them feel immune to death, that is what they need to go and defend, because they took an oath to defend the sanctity of the federation, to defend the nation. Now the nation needs them. When IBB stood up and went and did that coup, he was also a younger man. He was also one of the lower rank and file. Well, not so low, but we have seen lower than him that have gone up to try and do it, like the brave Gideon Orca. He was very young, So where are they? Have they taken their balls away? Where is there no guts? I hope they are agitating. I hope they are watching. And I want to believe it's because we are in court. That is the reason why they have not come out and do the needful. And I know that Agbado knows he's not popular with the military. He put those that he can put in position, those that are close to him. But majority of those in the military are not for him. He has no credibility where they are concerned because he has no pedigree. Thank you for allowing me to interject. Sorry.
Like I said earlier in my presentation, hey, you guys in the military, just wait for the judiciary. The day they give us their judgment, we all know what is right. If their judgment is wrong, you guys get up. Get up and correct this.
I think what is going on here is like this. We just got to be calm. The facts are open to the entire Nigeria atmosphere, and the military are hearing you what you're saying. They are critically trying to analyze it because the military, they are very tactical in their approach, and they are going to really look into it. They are looking at least they should be analyzing whether they will give that advice to the Agbado who is in Aso Rock, whether they'll give him that advice to go ahead. Because what I'm seeing now, we all should not be moved by whether he's certain a Yoruba man or an Igbo man that he trusts as he's promoting them. Those things got nothing to do with the military. Those promotions are political. And when it comes to really taking the decision of whether you want your soldiers to go in there and you don't really have a critical analysis and a schematic of Niger Republic, you want to jump into a guerrilla war because the war will not have an end. No matter how many missiles you throw, the war will not have an end. Because Africa we love our land and we are ready to do anything in our own environment to protect our land. So it will be very, very, very unheard of for an African country like Nigeria to go as a leader of the African movement, to go in there and attack the sovereignty of another nation, because you are supposed to dialogue, you are supposed to advise, you are not supposed to militarize your organization in the West Africa, like you did in Mali and some other countries. You went in there, you dialogue, you talked to the man, you persuaded the Guinean president, and he left, and he was given immunity, and he left peacefully to another country for an asylum. That same thing has happened before, but if you want to go the war, it will be endless. Even if any other country come in, it will be endless. It happened the Vietnam War. The Vietnam people had nothing much to fight, but they fought and fought and fought. America lost that war.
But wait, Black Panther,
Yeah.
isn't it against the constitution of Nigeria for one man, the president, to declare war against a nation that didn't do anything to us, that is at peace?
I believe so, because I believe no president in the world has the autonomy to go to war without consultation.
Yeah, Niger is at peace. We are not going there for peacekeeping.
Yes.
And our president declaring war against them, that's even worse than Hitler.
Yeah, you're right.
It should be against the constitution.
The president to be removed for saying something like that.
And you see,
it's not going to be removed. Do you think Niger does not have international island? Is that what the Nigerian government is thinking? Really? You're just gonna be joking.
Even United Nations Charter, it stands. You don't go and force a president, whether legal or a president, whether military or civilian. You don't go out of war to remove. Rather, you go dialogue. That is why you are called ECOWAS. That's why you are called AU. It's not a war position. Yeah.
You see, all these United Nations and co, forget them. They are all.
I'm using their own law, their own charter to put it forward. That's what they said.
But as you can see right now, the European Union, they say they are ready to support a military operation against Niger. Can you see?
They are trying to. We know what they are saying. They are trying to protect. They support, but they cannot come in. If they come in, they are out of work.
They are trying to use Ecowas to go.
But if they are trying to use Ecowas, will it succeed? That's the question.
Please, let's do away from that war. Use another word, please. You know?
But okay.
Thank you, sir.
But it's against Nigerian constitution for a president on his own to take us somewhere that he feels whatever. We are not going on a peacekeeping mission. If we're going on a peacekeeping mission, ECOWAS countries will volunteer their soldiers, and we will know this is not a peacekeeping mission because there is peace in Niger. In as much as we don't like who is in the helm of things, that is not supposed to be a reason for us to rally our military in Sokoto ready to invade. What are we invading? I mean, they have not declared against us, so why are we going to declare against them? And they are our next door neighbor. If anything, we should be sending some serious high-rank delegates to negotiate between them and the man that they ousted. We have not done that. And then we are now gathering our troops along the border. I'm quite sure that Tinubu would not even be thinking in terms of gathering troops if he was in there. I'm sure he must send some serious people there to go and negotiate this thing, even outside of ECOWAS, because they are our next door neighbors. Whatever happens there, the wind of it will come into Nigeria too. The refugees that will be coming from there will be pumping into Nigeria too. In fact, if the way that Nigeria is now, the influx of refugees from there, if anything happens there, will probably help destabilize Nigeria, because we are not on our 3 legs, we're on 2 legs now. So any right-thinking man should think a little bit, see beyond your nose, and see that what you're going to do there is definitely, like somebody said, that when you throw stone into the market, it's bound to hit your mouth. And that's exactly what this man is doing. You are playing in the hand, or it's like France is telling you what to do. You should think of how it will affect Nigeria. Believe me, the first wave of anything in Niger, a bunch of Nigerians that will run away will be running across the border straight into Nigeria. Are we ready to handle all of them? Are we going to give them 8,000 to survive? So definitely, please, guys, think before you act. Don't get, you are supposed to be statesmen and diplomats. Don't get that emotionally carried away that you make decisions that are for idiots. Because
if you may, I may just come in. Why didn't France send military to Ukraine, inside Ukraine, to engage officially with Russia? Why didn't they do that?
Exactly.
Why were they doing it by proxy?
Exactly. They don't have the lever to fight Russia now. They don't have to fight Russia.
Why would they be telling a sovereign nation that they are giving them? That's an insult even to the whole of African continent.
And that's the worst part of this,
but,
because the Wagner group from Russia is in Africa now. The Wagner group is going to be joining hands with the Niger troops to be fighting anybody that comes against them. And Nigeria is going to go in there like Mumu.
Yeah, that they say that the UN, listen to the charter, the UN charter that somebody quoted here. UN has given ECOWAS the green light to intervene militarily in Niger Republic if within 1 week the new military administration in that country does not restore presidential power to the ousted former president. Can you see that?
And
Because your president
what is the
was a
reason?
puppet to these guys.
That means we are going to let Nigerian blood flow to restore what's his name, Museum or whatever in Niger.
The question is, what is so strategic in Niger Republic? That's the question we should be asking. Because the UN itself has not given such pronouncement before. This is an order to ECOWAS.
The point is this:
there is uranium. There is uranium in Niger. That is where they are using to milk out.
And this is from Russian TV.
Nuclear project.
It's from.
Remember, uranium is in Nigeria too. Remember.
Yeah, and it's the same deposit.
But it's under their control. The one in Nigeria is still under their control.
That's why Boko Haram issue is not stopping.
That's why Boko Haram is not stopping now. They are using Boko Haram.
My brothers and my sisters, see this wahala where they happen for that place. Many of them don't even know some kind of things where they happen there. This thing in mix, what they call twisted interest for English. In people, somebody want to gain, somebody want to win, somebody want to collect, somebody want to they look for favor. Tinubu, they look for legitimacy. The West right now, their interest is under attack for that place. Like I tell you now, the West, you know the read said the West divide Africa before. For Belgium, they go for meeting. This was I may get from year. Now this one I may get year to year. Not my territory. They divide Africa a long time. Down still differ inside their parliament. They sit down. Why you think
Russia was not a part to that, right? Russia was not a part to that.
I know. Russia not there. That is why look, I go give you the whole history. The reason why Russia they come now. Russia they play game of saying the enemy of my enemy, now it go be my friend by force. Now I be worried that they do so. Russia be say since they're not up inside, now they make them to become insignificant, the entire West. In they look for allies, in they look for people who say go team up or damage their interest, even though you not gain. It will open Africa eyes to the secret truth of the dark places. So that Africa get angry at their enemy and they go be friend. Now, Tinubu now, you know say Tinubu na very important, Nigeria na very important spot for the whole Africa. It will influence Africa, especially West Africa. Tinubu now in the lack legitimacy for these people eyes, and he want them. This might give and take now they tell you in business. Tinubu no say if he join, if he romance with them now, it don't become their friend at least temporarily, which means they go want making be there for the next 4 years. They want to fight against the truth, the West, making the boot there because they know that their interest. They go feel use them, they get their interest. Now one of the things say that they want protect. So now with Tinubu they talk with as if now two good human beings, not this real something. Now because of say their interest is under attack. Now they don't lose Bamako. They don't lose Mali. Burkina Faso. They want to lose Niger again. And if they succeed, if Niger succeed, it will spark interest inside the Ivory Coast, where they important to them, and even tomorrow Togo. And if those 5 will go, you know, they talk. You know how many countries they under French colony, where they use the CFA. If it happen like that, with the way Mali don't drive France, I will tell you, very soon they will tell them say the CFA they're not interested again. And that would be a big to them. All the look, Britain gets good. These two way Prince Charles, Charles stayed to become king. Now pure good. They get good mind. No, where I come from, Africa. Make I tell you the thing. The thing be say Africa now is supposed to be the person where the continents when they go talk. Other continents go yes sir. Because all the things where you get value when you devalue inside your day. This thing is bigger than what it is in this picture. The West is worried. Like I tell you. And if they finish with this report, they will go still turn against this noble person they look. Because the thing is twisted, my brother and sister, like I tell you. And make I tell you, this thing will go finish. Russia will jump enter this. You know, never noticed it happen. That's why I say this thing we see. When you see Niger, they challenge
Russia is already in now. Russia is already in.
They never come. They go come outside with their face. Russia, the man.
For a very long time.
Russia they
Russia
wear
has been
mask right now
grasping,
for the whole
but
thing.
they are just cool.
Russia they wear mask for the thing now. Now they see and
No,
wear.
no, you know what
The
happened,
time
bros?
they
Let me
come.
add to your this thing. The leader of
Ah,
Wagner Group,
Good night,
last
everybody.
week, he announced that they are moving their ship down to Africa. The leader of Wagner Group, last week. I watched it when he was making his announcement. He said they are moving their military might to Africa now. You know, he
Yeah,
and
because
Putin, they
Africa
don't
needs
settle.
I think
I don't want to
Africa
use.
needs to
I
look
don't want
at
to
trade.
speak.
Our
I
leader
don't want to use one
needs to
word.
look at trade.
Eh? The word. See, you don't hear of first word, bam. Second word, bam. Third word. Wait till the third word, bam. When it go happen, eh? Now to the thing. Now the fight over the control of African continent. Of that, they go come out for their way. The West, you go see them. They go come and say this Russia no, because Russia will succeed. Now, 44 countries don't show desire to join the BRICS nation. That was last week. You hear them? They don't join, and if they join, as they join, how they go stop?
44?
So they use 44, my brother. 44.
Wow.
Don't I say 44 don't join, they don't show interest to join BRICS. And what did that they show? The BRICS whole ideas, independence of your own resources and your money. Not be saying that one person that would
Baba,
use.
me, I rather align with the ideology of the BRICS. So.
The
Very
ideology of
well.
the BRICS be saying your enemy. Let me tell you what now Russia and I did behind this whole thing. Russia be saying, since they and America they're not one pool, and the black said they fight them, they want to bring them down. So okay, what I go do? I go show you. You like say two of us now. Would they go this? Would they talk some kind of secrets against somebody? And now how would they succeed? Now you can't they align me off. I can't say, okay, I go tell the person with the cheat. Say, look what they do ever since, or look what they do behind you. And if you want to succeed to come for the, I go help you. Now what they happen so. Many countries they vex. Rwanda don't announce to their own country say if they keep US dollar now to your own detriment, the president I talking about himself. And not be
They don't
Rwanda,
talk, say
sorry.
the ruble
Nah, you
has an
got
advantage.
huh?
The ruble has an advantage over the dollar now.
Not be the robo. This thing is not about the robo. It's not about this thing, Russian money. The deal I be this. If you want to buy oil from my country, I go buy them in Naira. If I want to go buy gold from Ghana, I go buy it with the city. So that your money go there in demand. But right now, if you want to buy, even Saudi Arabia when they join the BRICS too now they are saying that it's not going to be petrodollar anymore. It's going to be petro, whatever their money, Saudi Arabia money, Riyadh. Yeah, so it's going to be petro Riyadh. So if they come buy petroleum, the Riyadh will come there in demand, thereby taking the price up, the value up. Instead of now using dollars as an international currency. Now I be waiting the doc so. So because of that one, now the US can't be powerful because they signed that deal with Saudi Arabia, I think in the 60s when this thing came up. And because of that now, they agree, say they go give Russia, Saudi Arabia protection for military attack from their neighbors and others. The US, to in return, give me this thing, this international politics. Give me, since you are the biggest supplier of oil in the whole world, maybe they buy your oil using my currency. So that my currency go there so much in demand and thereby appreciating around the world. Even the SWIFT, if you want to send money today, now dollar, now America, they control them SWIFT. That is why they want to sanction you. They get many places to cripple you. But no matter how big you are for the whole world, they go cripple you down. SWIFT, now they control them. Google, now see how they do it Huawei. Huawei just come to nonsense as if that company, they have all these things. So this is
They
what they are
don't deal
doing.
with that company well.
They don't ask, look, if I tell you about Huawei now, you go just sorry for them. They crippled even the semiconductor, what they do phone. Now US, like, look, the way you did now, if you go to the embassy, you go prove say you get super talent for your head. My brother, you go to US, they go talk to you to go buy you by any means. If you not go, they go even say you must go there because of they gather the whole world talent there. So you need them anyhow, anyway, you must need them. But let us come down to this Niger something. This is the game now. They know say Africa is super valued. Look, if I tell you something, you go verse. Do you know say if Africa come together, the resources, every country for Africa get heavy resources that the world need. Right now, you know say last 3 months, Tesla had been showing interest in Niger to invest into
what is this for this battery?
Yeah,
Battery for
that battery, that thing for battery. Yeah,
Uranium.
I
not
read about
uranium.
it.
It's not uranium.
Lithium.
Lithium.
Yes. Now it is in abundance in the north. Look, this country they call Nigeria, white man, they know what it did they pass you. That is why you see say they go always they support Mumu president, for them. Once na criminal, they also can make it there because they don't see true they like corruption, they will chop. But I will be. You don't hear say they don't put sanction for they don't. I don't want to talk scatter. Make I narrow the thing to this Niger. So Niger owner now say no because they lose grip. And what it won't happen. It be like what Peter will be talk. Say any change when don't ripe. Make I put off my own pidgin English. Any change when don't ripe to happen. You know if they stop them, it go bust for one place come outside. If you block that, it go bust for one place come outside. Now what they happen for the whole of Africa. Patrice Lumumba, he don't they go preach this in everywhere. Kigali president, Pop Kigama. He don't tell us say who is this guy say Michael.
Even the Kenya president don't they preach him.
Look, what did they about to happen for Africa? In the next 15 years, the whole world will shock. And they tell you the truth. And they tell you serious thing. Now, good thing because but you know go understand now. When you see those boys they talk that they actually they preach say they don't take for this thing. We say this Russia they do against them and the West. People are coming of age and at the youth. Look at that boy. How many years when take over Niger? Now, so young for look at the one for Burkina Faso, even Mali. All of them
34, 32, 36.
36. They are in their 30s. Now they come out. So the team is say, look what did happen for Nigeria. People they control. It's not because of this year they happen. Where they control, they go control who will become powerful. Now the youth, they wake up all over the whole world. African population is mainly of youth. 70 to 75%. They are youthful. They are taking control of the continent and their eye don't tear open. They don't go everywhere. They don't see things. They don't read. They don't understand. They reverse. So that is why they come in many directions. Not to say this person get interest for what is France. When they say make Nigeria, they don't give them go ahead. Why they don't go give them go ahead? Let me tell you, anything military is very expensive. And nobody is willing to spend money, especially somebody who did close to recession for Europe. It's not day like that. Now interest. Because
to deploy military, you know what it costs to deploy military?
Very expensive. My brother, you go pick them, you go pay them. And make I tell you, Nigeria.
Dr. Ken, sorry, let me just acknowledge somebody paid two pounds and has asked the question. You know, he asked the question saying, what is the majority ethnic group in Niger? On behalf of Nigeria Watch, we appreciate you, Freedom Simple. I think, and
make a Google them now. That's not the way to go make stop the vibration for. If they Google, make a Google them. The thing be say,
it's Hausa. If you want to know Freedom Simple, it's Hausa.
And the thing be say, that person just won't scatter my line of thought. The thing be say, and that thing again be say, they must not say, any country when you get border with your country, not they play anyhow with them. Any country where you get border with your country, now part of your country when it comes to security. Because if anybody won't enter, he won't infiltrate, he want to enter your country to do you harm. Now that person, if that person is your enemy, if he vex with you, he go give the correct way. Our Liberia team to start.
You will give them that, my brother. This is what these people don't think.
Look, if I analyze
it, always protecting this Mexico. Why do they think so?
You know this.
You are fundamentally right. Very right.
Want to go to Ukraine? Why do they want to go to Ukraine? They don't want anybody in their backyard, but they want to.
That is it. That is it. That's what Tinubu need to understand. I don't know why he go there door for everything. Now everything will get F now.
About person we don't hide, person we don't take some white substances high. I go there for the reason.
Now he make Russia they fight Ukraine because if Ukraine open the door, already Finland don't open the door. Finland is covered, is now a member of NATO last week. If Ukraine enter, then they box from the west to the east. They don't box, they don't surrender Russia.
They don't surrender them. And you know, say this
This
person
will be
knows
surrounded.
the head,
That's why the
the
war will
head
not
of
stop.
NATO. They know say the head of NATO now their enemy. I say the year you Russia knows say the head of NATO now their enemy. And then they will come surrender Finland there for there. Then Ukraine will come for that side again. They no go agree. They look if now anything can happen. You see they say this thing, people they say people don't understand. They say what did they do to you now? People not get their right to do their thing. They say for where look, this thing is just if you are doing international relation and public affairs, you go see this thing deeper where they happen. So now interest, Russia, France go spend money, say Nigeria, we gonna go there, no wahala. We go supply the military, we go supply this and this, we go supply money. Why are they put to be their interest for inside West Africa, for in Niger?
Whatever their interest, Nigeria should be concerned about if it happened to the eye, it don't touch the nose. So if you do anything nonsense in Niger, believe me, if Niger becomes intolerable to the citizens, they will be migrating and rushing into Nigeria as refugees. That means it don't affect Nigeria because you will have to contain all of them.
We've got somebody in the comment section that is saying the panel is daft. It would be good if he's able to join the panel and share his views. Yeah, these are views that people are sharing.
I beg, forget that person will do there. The person get epilepsy. Leave him, make it talk for
I was looking and I browsed the section of this Nigerian constitution. The president has, under the 1999 constitution as amended, he has the power to declare Ibam. But it will have to go through the approval of the National Assembly.
That is it. Yes. It's universally like that.
So I was just looking at it in the Nigerian constitution. So, however, this Nigerian Assembly or National Assembly, how they relegated that power or submitted it to this man to single-handedly be moving our young men and women towards Sokoto. Let him make sure that Sheyi is there too. Sheyi, his son. He cannot go there and go steal Nigerian blood. I mean, are these people even thinking of the people of Nigeria? How can he send our sons and daughters to go die and Sheyi is there somewhere gallivanting?
No, Sheyi not the military person, you know, at least. I like
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They let them recruit him.
No, they can't recruit by force. If they don't do like that. The thing is, look, I like to be very. I like to be very. I know many people they listen to us, and I like to talk sense that they cannot argue or faults. That is when I like to do my thing. The thing be saying, he has the power single-handedly to ask the military to go fight, even though they're against the law. The military will obey because chief is the chief in command. But however, the Senate can take him up and even jail him at the end of his term.
Not that. They said that he has the power as long as it is approved by the National Assembly. If it's
the thing why they talk, power. I understand. The thing why they talk, we say, even if the people not approve him, if he command them, but he will be doing it at error, and then it can be handled, tackled by the law because he did it without approval. You remember what happened for US? Where Bush sent people to go fighting and Blair just decide sit down for table, say go ahead to Saddam Hussein, go scatter the place. They say we did not allow you, and you know what happened. So they have the right, C in C. No, you don't know how powerful is the executive.
In the US case,
let me just interject a little bit. They have the right. As a president, is the number one secretary. As a president, now he can use executive order and just give straight. Why they may take that executive order to court before you finish court matter? They would have done what they want to do. Look at what Obama said. Obama said, when I do this, when I leave office, take me to court without approval.
No, in the US, those presidents were smart because they know that a president can commit our soldiers, but it will have to be within 30 days. That's the maximum a president can. And
they will do it very quickly. When they issue that executive order, while you were in the court, try to stop them. They would have done whatever they want to do.
While it is there, The president will now push his buttons to get the House and the Senate to approve and give him that War Powers Act. So in this case, in Nigeria, well, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into it and find out some more about this constitutional provision, because since it says that it has to be under the approval of the National Assembly, and I am sure that I didn't hear of any time the National Assembly sat to give this man the authority to go start assembling our guys in Sokoto. And these are young, seriously, this thing is still, when I think of it and think of the young bloods that this man is about to go spare over there.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, Tinubu go ahead. You know, I tell you what he go propel him. He don't see opportunity of recognition to rub shoulder with the elite president, leaders of the world. So he go like to once sit down meeting, they go call him. Okay, Tinubu, how did it go? He said, yes, I have already done. So they talked to him before, because they see him saying a legitimate person. They see him a person is not get the credential, you know, in terms of character. They know. But now they need them. Let me tell you, this whole world, there's all called, you know about international politics. This whole world is about interest. If anybody tells say I go support the war, go ahead. I go support that. I'm gonna go Niger, go do that in there. It is that person just won't commit money of the taxpayer for France, millions of dollars. It is not just for free. Now lie. Now because they get their interest there, that even during the time when the thing would happen, they're going to collect uranium when they won't collect. Let me tell you.
Even you, when they go use, they do that. You be more.
That is what it is. It is what it is, my brother. It had to give it to us. It is what it is.
Can I come in briefly?
Maya,
yeah. I've been listening to everybody quite keenly. I think Dr. Ken, you just made the most crucial point. Because not until we understand that this whole thing is about interest, I don't think we are ever going to get it right.
Sure.
Whether Russia, because it staggers my imagination if we think that whatever Russia is doing, they are doing it for the benefit of Africa. No, it's for their personal benefits. Because the West is trying to make them insignificant.
Absolutely.
In the Committee of Nations. That's why anywhere that the Russians, anywhere they see the interest of the West being undermined, they quickly go there and foil it up. The same thing the West is doing to Russia.
Yeah.
So for any person to think that Russia is doing this for the favor of Africa, we are just missing the point. If, for example, let's take a scenario. If, for example, Russia is actually able to fend off Africa, fend off the West, and Russia is in complete charge of Africa, you can never tell what they will do to Africa. You can never tell. And don't forget, these people, you know, the difference with the West and the Eastern Bloc is that, you know, the West, they still pretend to listen to things like human rights and stuff like that. But people in the Russia houses and the Eastern Bloc, China and co., they don't simply give a damn. So we never know what these people will do to Africa.
But Mr. J, this human right you are talking about, is it inexistent in Africa? That's the question.
No, wait. See, you know, the reason we keep missing this point is that, you know, if we are discussing these issues, we just mix up everything. The issue of human rights is a different thing. I was just using that as an example that for no matter how you look at it, if we are still talking about human rights, the West, they still pretend, they still want to do things as if they are following human rights. In short, they actually do it. But that does not mean they are happy doing it. But they are doing it because they know the world is looking at them. And if they give you Africans anything, it's not because they love you. It's because they are doing it for their own personal PRO. And the problem with Russia and China is that they don't simply care what the world thinks. That is why.
Let me just say something. If you look at countries associated with Russia and China, they are 1 million times better than Africa. The West has been ruling this continent.
God
For a
bless you, my
very
brother. That's the
long
point
time.
I'm trying to
Why
bring.
are
God
Nigerians
bless you.
jetting out to China that thinks that they don't have human rights? Why are Nigerians jetting out to Russia and all countries that are associated to these very countries? The West has suppressed this continent for a very long time. Russia definitely, no country wants to support any other country without interest. You understand what I'm saying? For example, Nigeria is trying to
I
support
think
France.
I
What's
think
the interest? What's the interest
that's a
that
big
Nigeria is trying
digression.
to
If you
support
say
France
no, if
to
you say
fight
the
his
countries,
own brother that is
no,
beside him, that
if you
shares
say
the same border
no,
with
if
him?
you say the
What's the
countries that
interest?
are associated with Russia, it's a, that's a different. There's a difference between association. What actually do you mean by association? These countries, they are already on their own. They are just doing business with Russia. It's quite
That's
different
it's
from.
the same
Wait,
thing.
let me
It's the same
finish.
thing. Where Russia
No,
definitely will have
it's not
interest.
the same thing. It's not the
Russia
same
will have
thing.
interest. I would
No,
prefer
it's not
Russia.
the
I
same
would
thing.
prefer Russia to
It's
be in my
quite
continent
different.
than
It's
all
quite
these people
different.
who have been keeping us.
But
Do you know, I
let
went out to buy
us
shortbread.
talk about this now. Look at it.
No,
If
Do you know how
if we
do you know how
gain
much,
our
let me ask you, you know how much a shortbread is? I went to buy shortbread, or almost about 2,000 naira. It simply means that a poor man is never going to be able to eat a good biscuit again. What does that mean? A poor man will never again. You think someone that is earning about 20, 30,000 naira, 50,000 naira is going to use 2,000 plus to buy a biscuit to eat? Is that what we're thinking? They control our central bank for a very long time. You think you are the one of your central? Don't you know the meaning of central bank? Do a research. The meaning of central bank. The word central bank is a patented name owned by one family. So any country that uses the word central,
Exactly. All the central
maybe you don't
banks
know
of the
that.
world, their
It's
businesses, they
patented.
are not
The
owned by
word
the
central, when
country.
you hear Nigeria Central Bank of Nigeria, it simply
It's
means that
not
your government does not control the central bank.
at all. At
Maybe you
all.
don't know that. Go do a research. So which means your currency, somebody is controlling your currency. They decide when to devalue your currency. Then if you go against that way, they sanction you. So is that the type of life we want to keep living
So,
for a very long
so,
time? Think
so,
about it.
so in this case, who is that someone in Nigerian central bank?
I have said this several times. People always say, oh, the Russians are this, are that. But we have not thought about this thing that if we gain control of our resources, then we can decide who we want to do business with. That is all.
The naira, you
Don't
have no
get,
control over your
that
naira.
is it.
What does that
It's
mean?
interest.
We don't have control over our naira. Our naira, the naira you're seeing, is being controlled by someone else overseas. How?
So we are all recognizing the reason why it's always good to have somebody with wisdom at the seat of the presidency.
If I would just summarize like this, when we say all these things, it's
You
really
don't tire.
yeah, it's just kind of surprising because whether somebody controls your central bank or not, we make this thing look as if it's how do I put it? We make it look as if it is something that fell off from the sky. This is international monetary policy. The way we just let somebody control your central bank, because if there is no central regulation, it means countries with all their technologies, they can go into the room and print your currency. Any country can go into the room. It's what's in the dollar. Somebody will pick $100, look at it, all the security features in it, and they will print it. And nobody can detect the dollar that was printed in the US or the one that is printed in another country. So that's
Why,
why
why,
that's
why,
the
why,
need.
why can't they
Wait.
detect it? That's not the,
I allowed you to
that's
finish. Let me finish. That is the need. That is what called for that central bank. It's a world global regulatory policy.
I disagree
No,
with you,
no,
please.
no,
It's
no, wait,
not.
wait.
Oga Chris is not.
Let me
I
Honestly.
finish.
disagree with
Let me
you. I
finish.
want you to
Let
go
me
and do the
finish.
research before you talk on this topic. So that you don't give out information, wrong information to people out there. You do a research on it, and then you talk on the topic. So you don't just jump into the issue, because this is a global known stuff. It means you've not done a research on it. So go do a research on it, then come back and talk on it.
We don't
America,
control.
the US
We
pay
don't
does not owe
control
the
the
dollar.
It's
Just
a
in case you don't
we
know.
global
don't
it's global stuff. Oh.
It's a
global
global
stuff.
stuff.
It's a
Yes.
global
Why
stuff.
get
So you need
ask
to
your ask
understand it.
this question? Why is there no central bank in Russia? That is one of the gripes they have
Hey,
Look at
against
how they
hey
look at
guys,
how they try to cripple Russia because of Visa card. Because of Visa card, they
hey
took
guys,
out. They
let's
shut
not
it
lose
down.
track of what we are doing. The judiciary is still out. That is our main aim. Let's not veer too far away from it. We have to get these people to do the right thing.
They're not
Please.
call angles for one place, so
Yeah.
not go far from them.
Oh, let's not even make the justices feel like, oh, they've forgotten about us. Let's get on their case. They have
But they
to
know what
render
will happen if they do any shit.
they
They are
have to
listening.
render the right justice.
Well,
In fact, not judgment,
can I talk
but
now?
go ahead.
Yeah, just to round up, maybe one or two sentences. I've made my points. I'm surprised, Bishop, they are telling me to go and do my research or whatever. I should research before coming to talk. If we are making our point, we just try and respect other people's opinion. Do you know if
I'm
I've
sorry
made my
about that.
research
I'm
for
sorry. I'm
long?
so really, really, really sorry
No,
about
no, I'm coming.
saying that. I was
You've
just
been
trying to
cutting
kind
me
of
off.
like,
Wait. You wouldn't allow me to land. Now, the point I was trying to make is this. I will also urge you, since you have thrown the carrot, I'll still throw it back to you. The point I've made, go and still research about it and come back. Now, let's get this thing clear. The problem is not with the central thing. The reason they can use those things to control your state is when they know they have somebody there that they can control. That is when these tools becomes available to them to control your country. So the first thing you have to do is to get somebody that is tact enough, somebody that has his act together, that cannot be controlled, that not just controlled, that cannot be blackmailed. Once you have that person, then the person can speak up at any point in
Can I
time.
interject you? Can I interject you? Let me give you an example.
What is
What you are saying now.
interjection? Okay.
No, what you are saying now, you are right. But there's one thing that is there. If you are a strong man, as you are saying now, you are in control, you are good, you are this, there is always a tendency that there's going to be a blackmail in your country that will bring you down. That's what happened to Burkina Faso former president. They brought him down because of interest. He was good. He was preaching self-sufficiency. He was preaching grow your own food, grow your own industry. But what happened? They brought him down. His friend, his bosom friend, brought him down. All because of the Western people.
No,
That is what happened.
listen. You just got to say we can always keep digressing. Now you are talking about the
No, I'm
former
following in line with what you are saying now.
I know. Is it not Thomas Sankara you are talking about?
Yes, he was a good
So
nationalist, a
wait
patriot.
now. You didn't mention the name. I've mentioned the name so that you know I know about him. It was Thomas Sankara. The person that brought him down coincidentally was raised in Thomas Sankara's house. His father took that person in and raised him as a foster child. And at the end of the day, they used this guy to blackmail him. And that was how we lost Thomas Sankara. Can't we see the equation that there is always somebody from within us? There's always somebody from within us that they use to perpetuate this thing. Can you go and plan with any US person or with any Russian person to bring down the Russian government or the US government? Why can't we look inward? That is the point I keep making. Why can't we look inward for once? Because the house divided against itself cannot stand. Look at everything the West, the Rush, all of them, whatever they have done in Africa, they have not been able to do it on their own unless we have somebody that's collaborating with them in house. And it boils down to greed. It boils down to greed. The point in all this is that this central bank thing we are all talking about, have you asked yourself, is it only Nigeria that is there? What about other countries that, just take Rwanda for example. Rwanda was to the trashes how many years ago here? But it just took one person that knows his left from his right, that was able to stand up against these people. And it's been 17 years or thereabout, and he turned this country around. Does that not speak volume? Despite the opposition and everything, but he was able to do this because he holds Rwanda dear to his heart. Rwanda means everything to him. He places the sanctity, the success, the prosperity of Rwanda above every other thing. We have leaders that places their own prosperity above their nation. That is why you have these people we complain about. Can't you see? Because of immediately they have any kind of scandal, they quickly resign because they don't want any person to use that scandal to control it, because they don't care being the minister or whatever. But in our case, because we want to remain as ministers, we'll sit tight despite all the scandals hanging all over our heads. And from that scandal, people will start controlling us, and we can't do anything again. We lose our mind. We can't do anything again. That is exactly how we have ruined our system.
Okay, let's look at it this way. Everything you're saying, duly observed and noted. But right now, at this current dispensation, Nigeria has a bigger problem than that. And that bigger problem is a constitutional issue, which is this man in Asarok that's about to go and take our kids. He's assembling them in Sokoto to go get a buy in Niger. He is dealing us a big blow.
And he's an illegal president for that
Exactly.
matter.
Okay,
Exactly.
wait.
So that
Okay,
is
wait.
what
Illegal.
whatever we are discussing, let it be on how we can handle that problem.
Yeah,
Let the
exactly the
judiciary
point.
wake up. Let the
It's
judiciary wake
exactly
up.
the point.
The currency discussion is for another day. But
If
right now, especially since the judiciary is deliberating on this case, we have to let them know. And we have to let our boys in the military not to go to Niger. Don't go and spill your blood over there in Niger. If you will spill your blood, let it be in Nigeria. All of you come down to Abuja and let's take that nonsense man out of Asarok. Let that be our concentration now, because we don't have any reason to be in Niger trying to cause trouble there, knowing that trouble we cause there, their refugees will flow south, and that will be into Nigeria. What kind of nonsense decision is this idiot making from Asarok?
What about our refugees that are even in there? We have refugees in Niger.
Okay,
Think about that.
now you see, and I think somebody said it's about 30,000 or 300,000 Nigerians in there.
even talking about your refugees, how do we treat our people in IDP camp? And how
Forget
our
that policy. That is policy. The point is, how do we get our constitution right, which is what is in court right now? Whatever decision the Buhari made or this man is making, those are just execution issues. The issue that we should make sure that we are at the bus stop waiting for the judges or justices to make sure that they don't use any kind of technicality or anything to let this man still remain there in Asarok. And there was one that happened yesterday.
Then there will be two brigade. There will be two brigade, which means if Nigeria is engaging Niger, Nigerians will be engaging themselves inside. Another countries will be engaging Nigeria. Then it's going to be terrible.
That's the
That
problem.
that is the problem we are going to get into now.
Yeah, it's going to be
Because
terrible.
if
Which
you don't
means
have,
we're going to receive fire from all corners.
So
Nigeria has a greater problem, like what our uncle is saying now. Nigeria has a greater problem because we don't have a strong constitution that can set up a good structure. Because if you don't have a strong constitution, you cannot have a structure that will hold anybody accountable. That is what we are having.
Black Panther, can you pause for a minute? Why don't we have a strong constitution? Haven't we had the opportunity of changing it? But we simply refuse to change the constitution because the people that are benefiting from it, they have refused to do so. They have refused to do so because of their greed, because they cannot put the interest of the nation above their personal interest. That was why they did that. That was why the constitution can't be amended. You see the point? And because the constitution, because of their greed, the constitution cannot be amended. The constitution has given rise to characters like Tinubu to come into power. And now when such characters come into power, people will make use of them to achieve what they want to achieve.
But let me ask you a question. Does constitution actually give Tinubu rights to come into? He stole it, even according to the constitution.
Yeah, even if he stole it, there are gray areas in the constitution that said that, there are so many amendments they wanted to do in the constitution. Like, for example, this issue of what do they call it? The person that's supposed to announce the final results. The person that's supposed to announce the final result. And there are many, many, many gray areas that are not too clear in the constitution. How can you tell me, for example, a constitution that says that any person, as long as you've attended secondary school, whatever your grade, it doesn't matter. Just show proof that you have a secondary education to rule a nation of 200 and something million people. And these people, they refuse to alter that constitution. Why? Because it benefits a section of the country.
That one is understandable. The one that I still don't understand is how come our learned Chief Justice of the nation, how come he decided to trash his education, his knowledge of the Constitution and the law, and he went there on the 29th of May to pronounce somebody the president of the country, knowing from the results that were announced all over the place that somebody did not get 25% of the vote.
Can I tell you why he must do it?
Why?
Because one, the Constitution does not leave one a vacuum. Two, the Constitution gives power to the INEC chairman to pronounce the president-elect. Then after pronunciation of the president-elect, your constitution did not give provision whereby every law cases against that election should be completed before swearing in. He said, go ahead on this day to swear in the president. That is what gave him power to do it. He cannot retreat, because if he retreats from it, it's now committing a crime himself.
In that case, let me present to you Chief Justice John Marshall of the U.S. in 1800. He introduced judicial review. And that judicial review is where they will say, hey, this thing is not constitutional. If you're the Chief Justice of the country, you know that provision, that particular provision, that 25% of Abuja must be part of what makes that. If whoever, Mahmoud, declares this person the president, you have that judicial review authority. And that is what set the checks and balances, like here in the US. That's what made it very strong, where the judiciary can hammer down.
That is why the INEC chairman said, go to court to rectify what I pronounced.
But the court,
he has the right to pronounce, but you don't have the right to take that pronunciation power from him. It is when you go to court that you can take the power from him.
No, he
can pronounce. I mean, different from your opinion. The constitution is written.
If I may just come in, for example.
He can pronounce, but the Chief Justice of the nation is the one that is the final interpreter of the Constitution. And that 25%, remember that case was in Abuja Citizens versus INEC.
But Chief Justice don't have power to take that power from INEC.
He does.
You make pronouncement. Can I say something? You make pronouncement based on the person, if the person had met the requirement. Did he meet the requirement?
No.
Why would you pronounce when he did not meet the requirement?
And you, the Chief Justice, know very well.
You have to make, before you can make a pronouncement, you have to meet the requirements.
So
and INEC chairman said, after meeting all requirements, knowing fully well that 25% was missing.
But the Chief Justice cannot be as somebody that will apply for a case. Why he's going to be the judge? That's the problem.
That is the power of the judicial review, which only the Supreme Court holds in any nation. When something like that comes up and you see a clear constitutional violation, you have that power of judicial review. That was introduced in the US in 1800 by Chief Justice John Marshall, and the whole world has adopted it. So you knowing fully well that this is wrong, you under that judicial review will say, no, this is against the Constitution. And you shouldn't even grace that occasion by showing your face there, because you know, and you still showed up and you still did that. That means if it's a conspiracy, you are a part of it.
It was not a hidden thing. It was an open thing. There's a difference between we were not aware of these kind of stuff, but this was an open thing discussed on all national TV, 25%, and they could see it.
So there, even our vice president, Baba Ahmed, he was on TV. He even appealed to you. He told you that if you go and swear in somebody without 25% of Abuja, that you have killed democracy.
They just killed democracy. That's what they did.
And then your cronies went through NBC and find channels, TV, 5 million or whatever. But Baba Ahmed told you that you cannot say that you didn't hear that one. Everybody heard it and heard that channels was fined because Baba Ahmed said that.
What did the Chief Justice use to swear in? Was it not the same document that requires that he has met the 25%? Did he check that he actually met the 25%?
Okay, let me.
Was that document not presented to him? That there was lack of 25%.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Do you know that there is an official document that should go from whoever pronounces it to the Chief Justice? That way, Chief Justice will get ready for the swearing in.
Sure.
Chief Justice, please show us that document and let us see that in that document they said that he got 25%. If that
because
is
that's the document
if that is what you acted on,
to swear in.
Yeah, if that is what you depended on, that they gave you a document that said you got it.
A document was given to you, and that document must show that this man has met the 25% of Abuja.
Good. Let him show us that document.
So what document did he use in swearing in this president? What document did he use?
That way we will know that Mahmoud lied to him too.
Even apart from that, the Mahmoud man, he can't even produce one of the things the Peter Obi's team asked was that where are the papers that you used in declaring this man the president?
And that's another
50,000 of those papers we can't find, and he went ahead to declare the so-called person there now as the president of the country, because there's enormous power. We all say every time that the Nigerian president, the Nigerian executive, is the most powerful president in the world.
You know one thing about that thing. Can you imagine those result sheets? We have seen it, and we know it's like a pre-printed form that you fill out. Now, can you imagine what kind of harm will be done to that piece of paper to the extent that when you now take a photograph of it, it will be blank? Is that possible? And why is the court playing dumb? Because it's not possible. At least the logo of INEC on top should show.
Now we are. I think now we are talking.
You're showing a plainly blank document.
You just ask a very vital question. Now you are talking. Why are we playing dumb?
I mean,
why? Why are we playing dumb? What upon all the evidences?
What kind of harm will come to that?
Will work the same day, the same time. We cannot upload one set of election results, and we cannot upload the other because we want to maintain a certain system. That is where our problem emanates from. Didn't you see that child in Kaduna that was voting and they asked the policeman said that, oh, some people can be small, that he can, somebody that was clearly like 5 or 6 years,
Yeah.
and the policeman said he can't say anything about it.
I
Did
saw
you not
that.
see people?
Now, so
Didn't
average
we,
northern I think now.
no, didn't we see people on election day? Didn't we see how people were stopped to vote in Lagos? And the law enforcement agency, they were standing there and looking. Which one is worse?
The one that the
Which
one that
influence
is
is
worse.
worse? Do you think the external influences are worse than this that we are doing to ourselves?
The one that is worse is how you can tell me that a whole INEC form with their logo and everything got so damaged that now when you look at it, it's completely blank.
It's still the same thing we are saying.
I mean,
These
even if
these
I was a
these are
judge,
actually
let me
the
put it to
things
you this way.
destroying us.
If I
These
was
are the
a
things that are destroying us.
if I was a judge in that case, honestly, I will rep. In fact, you see all those senior advocates that represented that blank piece of paper, I will reprimand them. In
It's
fact,
what I'm saying.
They
I
got
will
to be debarred. That's the best
exactly.
word.
I mean,
It's
Debar
not you
them, all
people.
of them.
This is what I'm saying. We have to. These are the things destroying us. This destroys us more than the Western or whatever influence we think about. The point I'm making is that if we get all these things right, all these influences will be very minimal. They will still be there, but they will be minimal. If you and I know that if I vote, the right person will come to power, I think that alone will even make the person in power to work to try and do what will benefit the masses because he knows that he needs the masses for the next election. But when
Okay,
you
the
have
question I will ask you now, why is the
Mhm.
political class not wanting the right person to be there?
Exactly. That is I think that solves it all because we as a people we prefer our personal interest above national interest. Whereas the people in the West, they prefer national interest above their own interest. And listen, we keep talking about the West taking our resources. These people taking our resources, are they taking it for their personal goods or personal pockets? The answer is still no. They still take these resources to go and develop their entire country. But we that the resources belong to, we take it and develop only ourselves and our family. The West we complain about, they take our resources. Yes. What do they do with it? Does it go to the pocket of one person? No. It is still about national. They still use it to go and develop the whole of their country. We just agree that the uranium that they take from Niger, that's what France uses to fuel its nuclear power. That serves the whole nation. That is the difference. And that is the point we have to look at. So that answers your question, Black
But
Panther.
but
We
don't you
don't
think
love
that the
ourselves enough.
military coming into power in most of these African countries that are young, and they've noticed that this thing we have to develop our country, that's the why they came into power to take power from their colonial master. Don't you think it is a positive thinking towards
Yeah,
the point you just made now?
Black Panther, those kind of questions can only be answered in retrospect. For now, it is very good. What I mean by retrospect is that it is only after 5 years we now see what these young people have actually done with the power. Are they going to become dictator? Are they going to? Don't forget this man in Cameroon that has spent 30 something years. When he came in, Museveni, all of them, when they came in, it was exactly the same story. But after 5, 10, 15 years, they remain there in power. They are not doing anything. They themselves will become the stooges of the West. So we can only answer this question in
But they
retrospect.
do democracy in Cameroon. That's why they vote I think every 5 years. And the master
Yeah,
remain power. So it's
do you
democracy.
call
So
that
democracy is
election? The one they do
democracy.
in Cameroon, you call that election truly?
But they call it democracy. That's my point. If it's not a democracy, why are they calling it a
That's it. They
democracy?
call it democracy. That is
Yeah,
what it's confusing us.
You see,
it's confusing.
this
One
same
on the
democracy
power for
we talk
good 40
about,
years,
it
over
is
40 years.
democracy.
And they're calling it democracy. And France is in support of the same man.
Yes, because see, you ask yourself, why is France in support of the same man? If not that it is the man that has made himself available, The man has made his personal interest above the interest of his nation. That's why France is able, because what the man wants is to remain in power. And what France wants is to take whatever they can take from
Yeah,
Cameroon.
that's why they all need to be removed from offices.
Yeah, so
So that
if this
these
man, if
people,
this man has chosen that, look, instead of me to remain in power, to seek France's support to remain in power, so that I can just be there, instead of me to sell my nation in order to remain in power, no, I won't do that. I would rather leave this power and allow my nation to grow so that in that way, France cannot control. But the man wants to be in power. And France said, we can keep you in power.
that's why France
But
is
give us
afraid
this.
now. Now that it's happening in
But
Niger,
give us this.
Cameroon may just follow.
We must take our own share of this problem. We must take our own share. What we even call democracy, it doesn't have to be the kind of democracy that the West has proposed. It doesn't have to be like that. It has to be a fair system that ensures that the best comes to power. Even in China, they don't do all these elaborate elections. They have the 50 wise men, and from there they pick their leaders from. So that's just the point. It's a kind of because before you even become that part of that 50 wise group, you must be sound academically. You must
You
know
are
And must be
making a
ready
good
to
point now
You're making a
that
good point now. And must be
we should
ready
throw away
to
this white
defend your
democracy.
nation.
yeah, no, it's just the facts. It's just the way it is. It is we that are not applying this thing properly. Even the so-called electioneering democracy, where people vote in countries where they apply those things properly, it still works for them.
We
Just
cannot apply it properly because we have not been used to it.
yeah, because we refuse to.
We cannot throw our own system out and take somebody's system and you believe that we're going to get very good in it. It's not going to be possible now.
That's
Yeah,
why
even
we
if
It
were not
encourages
used to this type
corruption.
of democracy before.
even if it is not possible, but what are we doing? For example, we have the opportunity. We know the fraudulent nature of the 1999 Constitution. And for 23 years or thereabout, we know the number of House of Senators across the country, the number of House of Rep across the country, yet they have refused to do anything tangible about that constitution that is completely inoperable. The constitution is not operable. The
But
onus is
but it's favoring the elite. So
that is the point because
why do you think they want to
it
change it?
favors
Look at some
them
of the
and they
new
don't
guys that
care.
just voted into the office now. Do you hear
Yeah,
them talking?
they
Everybody's
don't
quiet
care.
because
That
they're
is
enjoying the juicy.
my brother, that is the point I have been making because these people love themselves more than their nation. That is why they wouldn't do anything about it. So even if the West is coming to come and do whatever they want, if these people look at the scenario that even if the West come, they will benefit, even at the detriment of their nation, they will go along with the West.
You see the reason, your point, I just want to come in before I opt out. You see, the word, this democracy we are talking about, the black man knows that it has its weak point. And the weak point in democracy is corruption. In America, yeah, they are corrupt too.
A
I
lot.
can bring out a lot of things. Now you see,
Yes.
it is bound on corruption.
Yes.
Only that some American laws, as they look at it, they bypass it and cover their face to that corruption and target something. But it's corruption in Africa. But Africa has found out that democracy can be widely corrupted and you can have your way and have your money straightforward. So what is going to be is like this. Africa needs to take the route of the Asian tigers, whereby you will be strict, have your own system, and your system will give birth to a structure that will be very thick, that anybody that is found wanting automatically will go in for it, and there is no mercy. It has to be so. We have to bring our own system that is why I said we have to infuse our traditional institution into our constitution, thereby making sure that all these region bodies that are doing things AY will be stopped. We need to focus on Africa. We need to do away with all this democracy, whatever. We need to find our own language, find our own institution that will suit us, and we channel it, and everybody will be held responsible. Look, this democracy you are seeing, if I tell you the loophole in anybody that is in America, will tell you a lot of corrupt processes that even you yourself, you will shout. That is what they gave you in Africa, and Africa has made their own elaborate. They are hiding their own. You can, just for instance, a lobbyist channel is corrupt. It's corruption now. As a lobbyist, I can pay you to go and talk in the Senate. I can pay you millions to talk what I want you to talk.
Millions of dollars.
Is that not corruption?
Millions of dollars. The
Is that not
Constitution
corruption?
allows lobbying. Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine? I can lobby you to make sure that criminal act stays in the Constitution. Is that not corruption? And that's what they gave to you to do. Why won't you take advantage of democracy when it's bound under the platform of corruption? They use human right to cover the whole thing. It is on corruption. Go and look at it very well. If you want to be wise enough, let us follow the Asian tiger way. Create your own type. No matter what the West say about it, create it. The Chinese, they created it. No matter what the West say about it, are they no more developed than, even far more developed now, that they are ahead of the Americans? Has it not been proven now that they are ahead?
Yes, and America is crying.
So what are we talking?
America is crying.
We should try and make sure we have our own system.
Imagine if China had decided to follow there a long time.
That is the problem we have. We are not realizing, and that's why I'm thanking God that these military boys, like you said, we need to watch them for like 4 years to see whether they are trying to create the real African system or they are trying to amount wealth for themselves. But the question I always ask, are we going to go the same route again? Because we have gone through this route before. And I believe the military, they are more wiser now. Because they cannot go the same route where they amass wealth and they get power to the politician. The politician will also amass wealth. So I am standing under the premises that they have come in to devise a change and to make sure that Africans are united and we have a strong force that will guide our own resources and will not dictate who we are going to trade with. That is just it. We need to set up a constitution that will bring up stronger institutions like what the Chinese have. That is what we need. Chinese have a strong institution. If you mess up, you go in for it. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Black Panther. You really said it all. Kind of like Africans just need to wake up. And Nigerian military, don't take this route you're about to take going to Niger. It's none of your business. Niger share the same border with you. The same border. So you're not going to do that shit because if you make yourself to be an enemy to Niger, oh my goodness.
Okay, I completely agree with you, Mr. Peaceoff and Black Panther. You see, we need strong institution, and I think the warning, I've been listening to this, your warning, it's very, very apt. If you make enemies with your neighbor, you are finished.
You're finished.
You are finished. I don't know why our leaders cannot see that. You can't make enemies with your neighbor.
Look at Canada. No matter what Canada does, no matter what they do, America will never make Canada their enemy.
No.
They rather protect Canada because they share border.
They also protect Mexico to a large extent.
They protect Mexico. Yeah. There's a reason for that. Because if you make yourself an enemy to a country where you share border with, it means your country can be open to an attack anytime from your other external enemies. And you don't have that capacity to contain them. Different African countries are not happy with Nigeria. Yeah, you want to make an enemy with your neighbor just because of military action. You don't do that. You're supposed to send delegates, negotiate, what's up? Don't do this, why? What's up? They're supposed to give you reasons why they did what they did. Oh, we did this because of the okay, we're just going to manage for like 4 years. Okay. Then somebody's from France
who is far away from other side of the water, is telling you to go. Why didn't France? Why didn't they send direct troops to Ukraine? Why are they doing it by proxy? Why are they fighting proxy? Why are they doing it? And they are telling you to go fight because they think that you are black. So anything they test, you need to do it. And then you want to drag the whole country. I said things are very expensive down here. I don't know how long you've been down. Things very expensive. You see people no joy. Even those that voted this government. If you talk about this government, they are present, they may
It's a rain. In my place they call it a early morning rain. Everybody will suffer it because if everybody is going to work, early morning rain doesn't anybody.
the same people that
Well,
voted, some of the few that voted them, if you talk about this government, they are present, they will hear you.
of
They
course,
don't want to
they
hear,
can't say
they don't want to listen.
they are even angry. They are angrier. Yeah,
You see,
that's just it,
because
my
they don't
brother.
because they could not see far. They could not see far when they were
Maybe
trying to
because
cast a vote.
we tend to be blinded by ethnic and religious consideration. That's our albatross. It has been. It continue to be until we get a leader that can make everybody think Nigeria first. That's it.
If
So, my
Nigeria
brother,
went into a physical combat with these people, then maybe that's where Nigeria people come from. Because maybe the
no,
military will,
it's
if they know,
better. Like your advice, it's better they don't go that route because to be a disaster. That's just my view. Well, at this stage, I think I have to step out. It has been very
thank
nice
God.
discussing with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope they
yeah.
listen to you. I hope they listen to you and keep Ninja closer as brothers. I think it's better.
They just have to listen. If they don't listen, that's their business. They'll be in trouble. And then
Okay.
we in the southern Nigeria, believe me, I will be so happy if they would do it because it should be an opportunity for us because you can't drag everybody into war when we're intelligent people. We know what you're supposed to be doing. You are not looking at the welfare of the Nigerian people. Then you just want to go into war and start destroying stuff. So I do hope that I hope Nigeria what you see right there so that he can go to sleep right now. Thank you very much, everybody.